Hi, I'm Anna Theodosakis, and it is my pleasure to be directing the Magic Flute for the Canadian Opera Company. I got my start in opera actually as a singer. In fact, I even sang First Spirit in the Magic Flute. Then I started choreographing operas, and from there I became interested in seeing the big picture and went into stage direction. I directed my first full-length opera while I was at the University of Toronto in the stage direction program, directing The Medium. And since then, I've gone on to direct many operas and musicals that I love. I've actually directed the Magic Flute before, but I'm so excited to direct it at the COC with the grand scale that they're able to offer and the amazing international and Canadian singers. The Magic Flute follows Tamino, a young prince, as he journeys through a foreign land. He's tasked with saving the princess Pamina from the priest Zarastro. Along the way, he picks up a fun sidekick, Papageno, who helps him on his journey. With a magic flute and magic bells, they're able to save the day. The concept for our production takes place in 1791, the same year in which the original opera premiered. We have a play within a play happening, especially during Act 1. Zarastro is holding a name day party for his daughter Pamina, and the magic flute becomes part of the celebrations. All of the guests and the servants take on roles and jump into the play. We even have a small proscenium or jewel box theater on the stage. Then, in Act 2, the lines between reality and the play become blurred, and the characters enter a giant hedge maze. As they journey through the maze, they will discover themselves and build community. Our production is set in the 18th century, but we bring in fantastical features to the costumes from those looks. For example, the Queen of the Night is dressed in leather and has a really Gothic feel. For the Queen of the Night's aria in Act 1, on the play theater, we actually have a mini version of the Hall of Stars backdrop from the famous production of the Magic Flute in 1816. In our concept, Monositos is a rat, and we've changed some of the text to make this production more inclusive. I first heard the Magic Flute on a CD in my living room when I was just a kid. And I remember dancing along to Papageno's arias and also imagining what could that Queen of the Night look like. It was very exciting. Then, when I was in 3rd grade, a school tour of the Magic Flute came to our gymnasium. I can still see the makeshift set today. Then, going onwards, as I said, I was singing First Spirit, then directing the flute, and here I am today. So it's been quite a long journey with Mozart and me. The Magic Flute strikes a perfect balance for both young audiences and seasoned opera goers of fantastical elements, comedy, romance, and really the triumph of humanity above all. In Act 1, when we first see the play within a play, we have almost a makeshift set going on. Elements are very 2D, as if people have created them themselves. We create serpents out of our chorus and other members, and it's really an all-hands-on experience. As we go into Act 2 and dive into the maze, we then bring in greater elements like fire, lighting, and other theatrical techniques to really highlight the fantasy. A highlight of the second act are the fire and water trials that Tamino and Pamina traverse together. The costumes are fantastic, and we have chorus and dancers creating the look of fire and water with their costumes, as well as having real fire and special lighting effects on the stage. It's definitely an exciting conclusion to the show. Mozart was a Freemason. And the opera includes a lot of Masonic elements, especially in the scenes with the priests. A lot of things happen around the number 3, whether it be 3 ladies, 3 spirits, and often we hear 3 chords happening. Inspired by this, the hedge maze has some Egyptian iconography that relates back to the Freemasons, and is inspired by British hedge mazes that include these symbols. I'm actually deep within the maze right now. The Magic Flute is an opera that we call a Zingspiel, which means it has music and dialogue, kind of like a musical of today. Zingspiel became very popular at the end of the 18th century when people wanted to move away from grand Italian opera and focus more on popular ballads paired with dialogue. Mozart was one of the composers who evolved Zingspiel even further to really integrate the music with the dialogue. This eventually led to Viennese operetta like Die Fledermaus or The Merry Widow, and today's musical theater. Mozart's music really highlights the different characters we find in this opera. For example, Papageno the bird catcher, he's really the everyday man in this piece, full of princes and kings and queens and princesses. Papageno is almost the audience's way into the opera. Mozart makes his music very rustic and includes elements of folk song to match his normal, everyday, happy persona. Sarastro, the high priest of the sun, he has very solemn and reverent music. Sarastro is sung by a bass, and you'll hear him go to the depths of his voice. On the other hand, the Queen of the Night sings incredibly high. She's full of rage and vigor, and you'll find her music to be very virtuosic with lots of runs and fiery coloratura. My favorite part of the opera is when Papageno finally gets his girlfriend, Papagena. They're so excited to see each other that they don't even have words to sing. They just start going pa, 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 and it goes from there. It's definitely a highlight of the show for me. This production is a perfect return to live theater. The play within the play element means that our singers are playing both for the chorus on stage and the audience in the house. It really is a love letter to live theater. Also, the Magic Flute contains themes about human resilience, going through trials together, and building community to overcome life's obstacles. The Magic Flute is a great first show to see to discover what opera has to offer. There's dialogue, many catchy tunes, funny characters, and there's also surtitles, so if you don't speak German, you'll be able to follow along no problem. If you've seen the Magic Flute before, I'd encourage you to come see our amazing cast, many of whom are Canadian, and also many who are past and current members of the COC Ensemble Studio. It's been quite the family reunion. It's been so much fun rehearsing this piece with our guest artists, the COC Chorus, and our amazing COC Orchestra. I can't wait for you to join us in the theater and share in the love of Mozart's music.